Let's talk about backwards compatibility. So I broke these games down by genre, what games I want to be playable on next gen. Even though I don't expect, most of these games to become compatible, I figured it was worth making a wish list anyways, just to give you guys an idea what games I want playable. So, let's get started. First up, we got Tenchu Return from Darkness, which is a port of Wrath of Heaven. So this version has more content than the original PS2 version of the game. And it's also the fan favorite, so all the more reason it should become compatible. So, yeah, if you're going to make one Tenchu game playable on next gen, it should be this one. Although Tenchu Z would be nice too. Next up, we got Thief, Deadly Shadows. One of the best. All the more reason it should become playable as well. Okay, so this is a weird one. Since all the sequels are compatible, but not the original game. I don't know why. But hopefully that changes, because why not? Next up, we got Fear, one of my personal favorites from the genre. And it's also worth mentioning this version of the game has more content than the PC version, with instant action mode and also a new weapon, which is the AR-15, I believe, which is basically, the only other weapon in the game you can actually dual wield, which is pretty nice. And especially if this version of the game is enhanced and everything, it could look just as good as the PC version, so that would be nice. And of course, we got Fear Files, which is the expansion packs to the original. And again, this version of the game has more content than the PC version. So, all the more reason it should become playable. Next up, we got Time Splitters Future Perfect. Time Splitters 2 would be nice to become playable as well, but this one's my favorite since I think it holds up the best. But that's just me. But if there's one game in the series I would want to become playable, it would be this one. Although 2 would be nice as well. Next up, we got Painkiller, Hell Wars, which is an interesting version of the game since this is not only a port of the original game, but also includes levels from the first expansion pack, I believe, too. And also, this version of the game would benefit greatly from becoming compatible since this port is a little rough on the original Xbox, so it would be nice to see become playable. Alright, so next up, we got third-person shooters. Stranglehold, John Woo's game, which was basically Max Payne 3 before Max Payne 3 came out. Still holds up, so yeah, it would be nice to see become playable. And of course, we got the Max Payne games as well, which I'm honestly surprised none of these games are compatible. I mean, it's not like there isn't demand for these games to become compatible. So, hopefully it finally happens next gen. And we got The Punisher, which is the game I talked about in my PS2 third-person shooters video. So you know how fun this game can be. And we got Freedom Fires, which was also in my PS2 third-person shooters video. And also one of the few HD original Xbox games, so this game actually holds up really well on the original Xbox, but it would still be nice to see become playable on next-gen hardware, especially since IO Interactive, the developer of this game, as far as I know, still owns the rights to this game, so it's not like this would be a hard game to make compatible on next-gen hardware. So yeah, it would be nice to add to the list for sure. Next up, we got hack and slash games. And it's also worth mentioning all these games in this stack are exclusives, so all the more reason they should become playable. First up, we got Kingdom on Fire, the Crusader, which is basically a mix of Dynasty Warriors and RTS, which is pretty interesting. And we got Heroes as well. There's also another game on 360 as well, but I haven't played it, and I've heard it's not as good as these two games, so I guess these two should be the priority. And we also got Otagi, or Otagi, developed by From Software. And of course the sequel as well. So yeah, all these games are exclusives that I'm sure a lot of you probably forgot about or don't know about. But yeah, it would be nice to see playable for sure. Next up we got horror games. Fatal Frame 2. Probably one of the best on the system. Of course the original Fatal Frame as well. And also one of the most unique from the genre, I think, just because your only weapon is a camera. So yeah, it would be nice to see playable for sure, since these are definitely standout games from the genre, and more survival horror games deserve to be backwards compatible for sure. And speaking of survival horror, we got Silent Hill 4. Even though I only have the PlayStation 2 version, I would pick up the Xbox version if it becomes playable. And it's worth mentioning the HD collection is compatible as well, which is unfortunate because I definitely would have preferred the original Xbox version of 2 instead. But hey, it's better than nothing, I guess, even though they're the worst versions of the game. So that's my wish list for now. Maybe I'll make another video, but I think I got a good selection of games. So I'm pretty satisfied. But even so, I'm still impressed with the effort Microsoft has put into backwards compatibility. Especially since some of my personal favorites are playable now and benefit greatly from being so. Especially Ninja Gaiden 2, which is enhanced and everything, so it's like a free remaster. And honestly better than something like, let's say, God of War 3 remastered, which was obviously a cash grab. But it really goes to show that backwards compatibility is the way to go instead of half-ass remasters. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what Microsoft has in store for the next Xbox, especially since they're carrying over all the progress they made this gen to next gen, so that's nice. And hopefully they keep the program going and actually consider some of the games I talked about in the video. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time.